Let's give it a little bit more pump up here. Okay. Welcome back, JCDC fans. Today in this video, we're going to go over the build of the utility room. I'm coming to you right now from the equipment room that we built last year that mainly houses the solar equipment that we have behind me here. As doubling now as my office, you probably hear some servers whirling in the background. I've got a couple of things going on, various projects that I'm working on to do some automation. We've got some security cameras going on. All that's coming up in some future videos. But stay tuned right now and we'll get to the utility room build video. Okay, so here's a SketchUp design that I created of the building, and obviously it's just the skeletal, but you can see I've got the equipment room here that's already done, and then I've also sketched up the design layout of the equipment room. So what we've got here is the basic skeletal structure of that. I've got a few things hidden. You can see I've got some OSB to cover the outside. And I'm showing some of the other things here. So I've got, the washer and dryer in there. I've got the pump equipment, the wash basin, the toilet. And you can see all the plumbing fixtures that I have set up here. So in addition to the hot water heater and all the lines. So this gave us a general layout of how everything was going to look so that we could order materials. We've got all the lumber that we picked out and the sheeting, as well as I put a joist across the top of this and put another roof like I did on the equipment room so that we could use the top for storage as well. So some of the things I want to point out here, we've got the pump and the pressure tank. We've got 3 drains. One is under the toilet. Actually, let me see. Can I hide this guy? Yeah. So we've got a drain here. We've got a drain over here that feeds the sink, as well as coming up for the vent for that sink. And then down here on the right-hand side, let me flip this around so we don't get a little dizzy here. We've got the last drain. So we've got 3 drains that were plumbed in when we had the pad poured. And then I've got a vent line that goes up. Let me back out here. And what I ended up doing, I didn't feel like cutting a hole in the top of the building right away. So what you can get is these vents that they're spring loaded. So basically when the pressure builds up in the system and when you're flushing water down the main drain, there's pressure that builds up in the line, and if you don't give it a vent, it'll basically suck out water from your traps. So let me move this up and around here. So I've got a trap here for the washing machine. I've got a trap for the sink, and there's a trap actually built into toilets. If you don't already know, let me flip around here. This particular one doesn't show it, but if you saw a conventional toilet, you would see a little loop down here at the bottom of the toilet, and that's to build in a trap so that sewer gases don't come back up into the room. So in order to prevent the water from being siphoned out of the traps, you need to have a vent. Now, most codes say you have to vent it to the outside, blah, blah, blah. But for certain applications, and it's mainly for under sinks, you can add these spring-loaded vents here. Anyway, that's the intended purpose of it, but for what we're doing here, at least initially, is well, let's just wait for you there. Okay, great. What we did here is we just added this up, and it actually goes up much higher than this in the building. We added this into our design so that we didn't have to cut a hole in the building yet. Now, we'll probably end up doing it that way, maybe not. We're going to try it for a while and see how it works. Obviously, we don't have to be strict to code here in Cochise County, so we can do kind of what we want. So if it works out for us, I may just keep that. Now, what I have here also, let me kind of zoom in here. I am showing that I've got some GFCI plugs that are in here. Now, one of these is for the hot water heater that I'm installing, and I bought this off of Amazon. I'll show this here as a blurb to the link. Now, I'm no affiliations with anybody on anything, but I'll include what we actually bought for this project. The major pieces, lumber, basically you can buy that anywhere. We bought ours at Lowe's. Due to the pandemic, lumber prices, as you know, have gone on skyrocket. Now, thankfully, I bought a lot of this lumber before that happened. We had this plan for many months, and we got in on a pretty huge buy of 2x4s and 2x6s almost a year ago, actually, I guess, at this point. But anyway, so I had already planned to build all this, so we had a lot of the lumber, but I didn't have a lot of the equipment. So I bought this hot water heater, and you can see we've got it plumbed in. I've got a pump down here with a attached pressure tank. Now, this is just to fulfill the needs of this utility room. So I don't need a really big system. I don't need a huge pressure tank. Once we get to starting to build the house, then we're going to design things a little bit differently. But this is just going to feed this part of the garage so that we can get water into the garage, be able to feed things that we need to have water in, like the basin and the toilet and the washing machine here. So anyway, that gives you a kind of a detailed look of what everything is. You can see here I've got plans to put a double gang box here to help feed the freezer. I've got outside of the utility room here, I've got a beverage fridge that I also feed. Now, this plug here actually already exists, and this is fed by an EMT line that comes from this, from inside the utility room, and then it continues on across this wall, and there's another box here. If I scroll in, there's another box that ends in this corner and actually goes up this, let me scoop around here, there we go, and goes up this post and across the girt. And then we have a couple of lights, one on the inside of this door and one on the outside, as well as on this girt, as well as on this girt here on the outside. Whoa, slow down there, Dave. We've got on the outside of the building here, we've got a motion sensor light as well. There's a 15 amp circuit that basically feeds all the lighting systems that goes through that plug as well. So anyway, that's a quick overview of what we got. Now, I am definitely by no means an expert in SketchUp. Everything I've learned by watching YouTube videos and reading blog posts and stuff like that. But anyway, this is kind of what I threw together on how things are going to go. And this gives you an idea of what we're dealing with for the building. All right. Let's get this pipe wrench out of the way. I was hoping that it would come apart along the staples, but those staples are holding pretty good. Let's just get it off of there. There we go. All right, so come with me. All the stamping. So, looks pretty good. No cracks. Some dirtiness. Maybe the glaze was rubbing on the bottom, but that goes on the floor anyway, so no biggie. All right, hang on, I'm gonna flip it over and we'll take a look at the top. Looks pretty good on the top here. Now, I saw in one of their videos that they tap it to see if it has any cracks. At least the one in Georgia, that's what they were showing on the video that they do. So anyway, sounds okay. Sounds okay. So the reason why I bought this toilet, and it was down to two. It was down to the American Standard Vormax such and such a model. And they both had the same type of action, except the Vormax had a double plunger system in the tank, whereas the Toto, their big claim to fame that they've been doing for a while is they have a bigger opening. I believe it's 2-inch or 3-inch. It's a bigger drain than what the other guys have. And one of the other differences, you can see here, there's actually two jet openings, one there and one there, to clean the bowl. And in the videos that I saw, the demonstration, the Toto looked like it would keep the bowl cleaner. And they have some patented finish here that's supposed to, you know, make it stay cleaner longer and easier and all that good stuff. So, since this toilet is deemed for the man of the house, primary usage, less amount of cleaning the better. So we want a clean pooper. So anyway, I thought this was really cool the way they use two jets, and it's an open system under here. There's no water that comes out here. It rides along this channel to clean the toilet. So we're going to put this. We're building out the equipment room, the laundry room here in the garage. We've got our red line pump and pressure tank. We've got the plumbing set for the sink. Toilet's going to go right here. There's actually the tank. I got it today as well. And got all PEX line in. So we've got a hot water line coming down here for the sink. And we're going to use this EcoSmart. It's a 6-gallon reserve instant hot water tank. And it's electric powered because we're off grid, you know, no natural gas. We do have some ability to use propane, but I haven't really plumbed anything to use propane here in the garage, and we've got excess electricity, so hey, why not use it? And then over here is where the washer and dryer are going to go down here, and then the connections are there, and we're going to use that plug that I have right there for power. Now you'll notice I've got the drain pipes are all exposed. When we built the building, you can see the wall here. We've got girts that run along here at about 8 feet tall. And then there's another one way up there, another 8 feet up. And so all of our walls for the equipment room here, and this butts up against the equipment room, are built using girts. And then I've got some fairly decent size bolts that I've bolted the walls to. So the walls are really there to support whatever I want to hang, and they are solid. I mean, if we look here, I cannot move this guy because it's bolted at intervals along the top as well as into the concrete on the bottom. So there's a bolt right there, you can see. So I've got it bolted in several places. I think there's 4 or 5 bolts per 8-foot section of wall. And so you'll notice that drain right there also butts right up against a post that goes all the way up. Now temporarily, I put a vent, one of those drain vents, so I didn't have to punch a hole yet into the building, because I'm not sure yet if I just want to 45 around that post and stub out to the side wall or the end wall there, or go through the ceiling. I haven't decided yet, but for right now I just put that in so that we could plumb all this in. So we've got a 2-inch vent pipe here, which is code for the washing machine drain, and so I just went ahead and went up with 2-inch all the way up. And then we've got 1.5 inch vent going down to 1.5 inch to 2-inch sanity, and then going down to a 3-inch reducer there. And so that goes into the, and then there's a piece of pipe that goes down into the 3-inch drain there. And then right here we've got the, let's see, yeah, 1.5 inch. I believe this is 1.5 inch as well coming here. And then we get down into the regular stem or the tail and the trap for the sink there. So yeah, so we're coming along. Julie's gonna be able to do laundry this weekend, and yep, and soon we'll have a toilet in here as well. Woohoo! All right, YouTubers. So here we are. We're on our maiden voyage of the utility room, right next to the equipment room here. So we've got, I've shown you that one before. We've got our lovely beverage fridge and our deep freeze, and we just hooked up the washing machine. We need to get a piece for the dryer. It's gas, and we need to switch it to propane. And we've got a Red Lion half horse with a Red Lion pressure tank that I've hooked up. Get out of the way there, Goose. And we've got this interesting sink that we purchased, a washboard, pull out thing. And I got this EcoSmart water heater. It uses about 1600 watts, but it doesn't take long to heat up. It's a 6-gallon reserve. And we're kind of testing this out. We're thinking about maybe using something like this in the house. Wherever we need hot water, we'll put it in that bathroom or even the kitchen area. And that way we don't have to use a circulation pump in order to save our water. We'll have individual ones. So let us know what you think about that idea. So here we are. We've got it all hooked up. Got our lines going. We're getting ready to go. So Julie, go for it. So that was part one of building the utility room. In part two, we'll look at framing everything in and putting a roof on it, adding electrical, lights. Most of the electrical is already done for the equipment and stuff, but we're going to be adding lights, put in a door. So there actually may be 2 more parts to this one. So let us know if you like it. As I asked for in the video there, we'd like to get your opinion on what I said about individual hot water heaters for separate parts of the house. We're going to have a 2,000 to 2,500 square foot house. We're going to have at least 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. So does it make sense to do that instead of a circulation pump? To have to worry about, piping hot water and circulating throughout the house? If a lot of you guys followed Handyman's videos, he put in a really nice hot water heater system with a circulation pump that I actually might do. I kind of like that system. It's a heat pump hot water heater. But anyway, let us know what you think, and I hope you like and subscribe. Tell your friends. We'd really like to get to 1,000. If we can ever get to 1,000, we plan on doing a giveaway on this channel. I'm not going to say what it is right now. It may change. But we'd like to show our appreciation if we can possibly get there. Thanks again for watching.